Yeah.
One of the main traumas is it tells white people that they are superior because of the lack of melanin in their skin. And then they find out suddenly that we've got a black president. That's traumatic. That's where the trauma is. Living a lie, finding out the truth is traumatic. Finding out now, recently, that within 30 years, white people will be in the numerical minority in this country is going to be traumatic. White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present. What we do in the present constructs the future.
Hey man, you know what it is, man. Shout out to Fried Time Media.
Fried Time Media.
Make sure you go subscribe. You did.
Fried Time Media, baby.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Fried Time Media. Smash the subscribe and the like button.
I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. It ain't no stopping me. Got bands, I'ma run it up, it ain't no stopping me. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, it ain't no stopping me. Got bands, I'ma run it up, it ain't no stopping me.
Welcome back. Now, the fight for equality in America has always been a collective effort, drawing people from all walks of life to challenge oppression and injustice. Today, we're spotlighting 5 white activists whose sacrifices and contributions helped shape the abolitionist and civil rights movements. Their bravery in the face of persecution and backlash serves as a powerful reminder of the cost of standing for justice. First up, William Lloyd Garrison. William Lloyd Garrison was a trailblazer in the abolitionist movement. As the founder of The Liberator, an anti-slavery newspaper, Garrison's writings mobilized a national movement against slavery. His activism helped build momentum for the passage of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in 1865. Despite facing death threats, mob violence, and public condemnation, his advocacy left an indelible mark on history. William Lloyd Garrison, who was once attacked by a mob of an estimated 1,500 men in Boston, Massachusetts, for his refusal to remain silent, once said, "I will be as harsh as truth and uncompromising as justice. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard."
By the fall of 1835, anti-abolitionist violence was closing in on Boston. A stone-throwing crowd had recently forced one of Garrison's allies to abandon a speech. Garrison himself woke one morning to find a gallows on his front lawn. He ignored the warnings. On the morning of October 21st, 1835, he made his way across town to deliver yet another anti-slavery lecture.
All right, we'll get him out. We'll get him on the way back out.
Garrison fled into a back alley and hid away in a carpenter shop.
Here's our little rabbit. Oi, we got him. He's up here. Garrison. Come on. Come on. Take him down to the others. All right. We'll tar the nigger-loving son of a bitch. Get the rope.
Fortunately for Garrison, 2 burly men in the crowd took pity on him and rushed him to the town hall. With the mob still calling for Garrison's blood, the mayor put the terrified printer in jail for the night for his own protection.
Next up, we've got John Brown. John Brown's militant approach to ending slavery culminated in his 1859 raid on Harper's Ferry. Although the raid was unsuccessful, it struck fear into the hearts of slaveholders and intensified the national debate over slavery. His execution for treason galvanized the abolitionist movement and directly contributed to the start of the Civil War, which ultimately led to emancipation. Brown's willingness to sacrifice his life for black freedom made him a key figure in the achieving of tangible change.
Here he addresses the court that would sentence him to hang.
In the first place, I deny everything but what I have all along admitted. The design on my part to free the slaves. Had I so interfered in behalf of the rich, powerful, the intelligent, the so-called great, or any of that class, and suffered and sacrificed what I have in this interference, it would have been all right. And every man in this courtroom would have deemed it an act worthy of reward rather than punishment. I believe that to have interfered, as I have done, as I have always freely admitted I have done, was not wrong, but right. Now, if it is deemed necessary that I should forfeit my life for the furtherance of the ends of justice, and mingle my blood with the blood of my children, and with the blood of millions in this slave country, whose rights are disregarded by wicked, cruel, and unjust enactments, I submit, so let it be done.
Next, we've got Thaddeus Stevens. Thaddeus Stevens was a congressman and a staunch abolitionist who helped shape the Reconstruction era. He championed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which abolished slavery, granted citizenship, and protected voting for Black Americans. Stevens also pushed for land redistribution to freedmen, a radical idea at the time. Though his full vision wasn't realized, his leadership in Congress ensured legal protections for millions of newly freed Black Americans.
If you wanted to get something done in the country, you had to go through Thaddeus Stevens.
Historians call him militant, controversial, and legendary in 19th century politics. A loud and rough-around-the-edges boy from New England who grew up to be an idealistic statesman in central Pennsylvania.
I think it's this passion for equality that, that just makes him incapable of holding back.
Called a radical by his contemporaries, Thaddeus Stevens was an early fighter for complete equal rights to Black Americans, well before the first shots of the Civil War.
Stevens, man, right from the get-go, wants the most forceful measures being used against the Confederacy.
Stevens was a leading architect of the great civil rights amendments. These include the abolishment of slavery, equal treatment under the law, and finally, the black vote. He also wanted a complete reconstruction of the South, a plan historians call radical.
The key to Black political power was giving them economic power, economic independence, which is what his ideas in terms of redistributing land in the South were all about.
Now, Viola Liuzzo, a Detroit housewife and activist, was moved to action by the brutality of Bloody Sunday. She traveled to Selma to support the civil rights movement and worked tirelessly during the Selma to Montgomery marches. Tragically, she was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan while transporting marchers. Her death drew national attention to the dangers that activists faced in the South, accelerating the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1965, which dismantled discriminatory laws in America.
Lowndes County lies in the middle of Alabama's fertile Black Belt region. The area was once heavily dependent on cotton and, of course, slaves. In 1965, this majority black county was firmly rooted in the politics of old plantation life. 86 white families owned 90% of the land and dominated the county's government. Black residents were not allowed to vote. They were controlled by brutality and institutional racism. The county was called Bloody Lowndes. On the evening of March 25, 1966, Lowndes County lived up to its reputation. Viola Liuzzo, a 39-year-old white housewife from Detroit, was murdered on U.S. Highway 80 by Ku Klux Klansmen as she transported people who were participating in the Selma to Montgomery March. Leroy Moulton, a passenger in the car with Liuzzo, described the tragic incident. I looked at my watch. It was like 8 o'clock, and I reached over for the radio. And that's when I felt this glass and everything hit me in the face. And the car was going off the road. Mrs. Liuzzo, the last thing she said was, "I was just thinking of this song. Before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave." By the time she got grave out, that's when she was shot. That's when the glass started hitting me in the face. We ran into an embankment, a ditch, and came out of it and ran into a fence. And I reached over and called her, shook her. She didn't say anything.
Andrew Goodman was a college student who joined the 1964 Freedom Summer Campaign to register black voters in Mississippi. Along with fellow activists James Chaney and Michael Schwerner, Goodman was murdered by members of the Ku Klux Klan. Their deaths shocked the nation and highlighted the violent resistance to civil rights in the South. The outrage following their murders helped secure the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. These 5 white individuals, William Lloyd Garrison, John Brown, Thaddeus Stevens, Viola Liuzzo, and Andrew Goodman, did more than speak out against injustice. Their actions directly contributed to the abolition of slavery, the expansion of civil rights, and the legal protections we hold today. Their sacrifices remind us that progress is often hard-won, but their legacies show how individuals can create real change. By honoring them, we continue their fight for justice and equality. So check it out, guys. You've made it to the end of the video, and if you've gotten any value from watching, I ask that you hit the thumbs up button to boost us in the algorithm and get us out to a larger audience. Also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. For those who are really interested in supporting myself and the channel, be sure to check out the links in the description to see how you can do just that. With that being said, I appreciate y'all joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
Turn myself to a cash cow. Mama told me she loved me. I look just like my dad now. Might take a trip out to Japan now. 200 in front of the dash now. Design all the way from the chest down. Do it on my own, any handouts. Niggas faking this man down. Hey. Grinding, trying to find me a way out. Hey. Nigga faking this man down. Hey. Grinding, trying to find me a way out.